Alright, this is a really short video just to show you how and why we use this plugin called Time Adjust to get our delay compensation values right. So Pro Tools uses a really fancy feature which has its ups and downs called delay compensation. So right here we can see that our delay compensation values are all at the bottom of every channel of audio. They're not really something that goes on VCAs or MIDI channels. So, excuse me. So we can see the top is the amount of delay that all the plugins have there. And when all of these channels go into the same bus, it compensates at the bottom there to make sure they all reach the bus at the same time. So right here, we've got our kick out channel has a compensation of 192 to make up for the 197 samples that the kick in channel has because it has trigger on it, which is firing these samples every time it sees the kick. So if we sort of turn on record enable on all these channels, you can see that all those compensation values disappeared. They're all at 0 because that's just the way, well, except for our effects channels and our aux buses and whatever. And that's because when you're recording, it's monitoring and it's going to send through everything as quickly as it can. And that's what it thinks that you want. And typically when you're recording like properly, you're turning off all your plugins and you're just hearing the channel, and then you add plugins in later and compensation values don't matter so much. But let's have a look at what happens when we press play. So if we press play and record enable is on all these channels, and if Phil could get the words right, that would be great. The compensation values came back. As soon as we press stop, they're gone. So this is a problem when we're running through a set and you click on a spot and you're literally just stationary, and all of those compensation values aren't going to be added if we're using Pro Tools built-in delay compensation. So that's why we need to turn that off and put it in a sample delay plugin like this. Now you can see there I've put it on the kick of 19 samples. That's purely just a delay because our inside kick mic is further away from our outside kick mic, and I'm making the inside one delay to where the outside one is, so they're in time and in phase. But the outside kick mic, I took that 192 sample delay and added it into the plugin. So if I bring back delay compensation, and let's just loop a bit of silence. It's going to loop, yeah. We can go through and check all of these. So probably should add something to the snare top. If I just drag this over, the smallest amount that this time adjuster plugin can add is 4 samples, which makes that come to 0, which is great. So let's check the snare, 192. Now generally what I've seen happen is when you open a project, sometimes these values will be in the thousands, and then you can cut it, you can close that whole project, open it up again. You don't have to quit Pro Tools, but you can close the project, open it up again, and then it will come back to smaller figures like 192. That's pretty standard. Vocals will be around 64. So you can see all of these values are pretty accurate. And I actually just previously did this. There were some weird ones where some of them were at 2000. I closed it, opened it up again, and now it's totally fine. So yeah. So basically your procedure in the morning or whenever you're broadcasting is to sort of turn on delay compensation just to have a look, and loop a section that yeah, so you've got record enable on, loop a section that maybe it has audio or no audio, whatever, doesn't matter. I just didn't want to hear audio. But that means that these compensation values pop up at the bottom, and we can click on, see there's one that's not right, that should be 127. Actually, let's go through a few more. So I don't care so much about the wet channels because, I mean, you know, maybe actually. Let's just do it. Maybe it will make it sound a little bit tighter. Alright, so the compensation value changed as soon as I put it on there to 58. And maybe it will be the same for all of them. 59. And what will this be? So 63, and it turns to 59. So it minuses 4 to add the time adjuster plugin. So basically you can't adjust it less than 4, which, you know, makes sense. I don't put it on the MCs because the other tricky thing is you'll get a bit of you'll actually be earlier than the video, I think, but we do need to test that. Yeah, so the syncing with the video actually really matters. So we got 60, 187, 192, 252, nothing. What? Pardon me. 129. But yeah, we're not going to turn that on because, like I said, the lip syncing with the video actually looks better when it's off. That's just on the vocals. The rest of the band, you can go through every single one. There's nothing needed on guitars. There's a little bit needed on keys, but again, you know what? Just for the sake of it, let's just get it all correct. Alright, so now our whole band should be time adjusted, and then the last part is to turn off delay compensation, and you should be ready to go. And